And welcome back to the Green White Checkered Podcast. I'm Andrew, and this is Zach. You can catch us at Picks by Fitz and Biggles TV. So you kind of noticed a new look here, and that is because we have joined for frequency's sake the podcast network. Well, I'm already having problems talking. We're happy to join them, and if you like any other sports, they seem to have a podcast for it. So go check them out on Facebook, Twitter. They're everywhere. YouTube. FFSQC or for frequency's sake. Check them out. They got some good stuff. They got a lot of betting stuff too. So go check them out. And we're happy to be a part of them. That sounded weird. Be a part of their podcast network.
It's all right. It's early in the season. We're just knocking the rust off. This is sort of a more casual episode. Usually we're joined by Joe and Drake, but we kind of decided to do this one last minute, test out this whole new streaming setup we got going on and all these cool new toys we had to play with. So it was a little last minute. Them guys are busy, so it's just gonna be a little more casual one with just me and Andrew, just kind of kicking off the rust and getting used to everything new here.
Yep. So we're also live on their Facebook. We might end up doing our own too eventually, but if you're watching this video, stop by our Twitter or X or whatever. Give us a follow. TikTok, the GWC Pod. Just look us up. Spotify, all that stuff. Cool.
Everywhere.
So
we're all around.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
We had the 24 Hours of Daytona this weekend.
We did, but before that, the Green White
Checkered
podcast, we competed in the iRacing 24-hour.
Yep.
At Daytona race, which was fun. It's a good time with the boys. We end up coming second. What's up, Brandon? Glad to see you chatting in the stream there. Look at that. Did you see that pop up on the screen? This is new, so it's exciting. So we had our race. Didn't go super great for us. I mean, we finished second, so I mean that's.
I was about to say second. It's not bad, but
what were we before that? We finished second because the team ahead of us crashed out, and ended up having to be in the pits for a long period of time. But I think before that we were like third or fourth or something, and just kind of cruising along. But we had mistakes. I did real bad. I spun out like twice, and then we had this like disastrous pit stop. Well, before that, I got hit. I got doored, spun in the grass, and then I forgot to put my pit limiter on, sped. So we had a penalty for that. And then I was also doing a driver swap, and the guy, Tom, who I was swapping with, his wheel wasn't working. And he's just like, guys, it won't work, doesn't work. So we had like this panic situation. It was terrible. So in that sequence alone, we probably went down a couple laps just in all that. But ultimately, it was just a lot of fun with the boys. That's really what it comes down to. As long as you have a good time with your friends and hanging out in Discord and just kind of shooting the shit and some of the funny stuff that goes on in race chat, it's a good time.
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was a pretty clean race for us. Obviously, it didn't go the way we wanted it to, coming off of a win last year. But I mean, we're averaging second place over 3 years.
We are. I said we started running this 2 years ago. We finished third. We won last year and we finished second this year. So we have yet as a team to finish off the podium. 100x. Yeah. I had like 30. I think I had like 34 X's. I was just so bad. A couple of them, in my defense, were like BS netcode. Well, not netcode, but like the thing where like you lightly tap somebody and then they go on to wreck and then you get X's. I had a couple. I think I had two of those. Like there was one going into turn one where a guy was already spinning out. I went wide and I must have just grazed him or something because I got a 0x, and then he spun. I got a 2x. So
there was one right off the bat where two cars annihilated each other, and one literally went through like half of our car, and you got a 4x.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
So
yeah,
I mean that's not your fault at that point, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I had maybe like 8x that weren't my fault, and then 20 some that were. So that's how our race went. Want to give Brandon and Trevor and Garrett a shout out. They actually got their first win in GT3. So congratulations to those guys. They've been going after it for a while. They usually have been pretty fast. Like I remember watching Brandon streams a few times, and them guys are always like top 3, sometimes leading, and something just bites them. So they just never had the luck. They always had the speed. So good for them guys. They're friends of the podcast. They run our logo on their cars, so it's cool to see them get a win.
Yeah, it's about time. Long time coming for them. So congrats to those guys over there. I'm sure they'll get another here or there. So
yep. Brandon actually won. He won the Roar before the 24, which is like, if you don't know, they do like the GT4s, the LMP3s, and TCRs, I think. So Brandon won that. He won the Rolex 24, and now he's going to go and try winning the Daytona 500 for the iRacing 500. So get the sweep for the Daytona special events. That'd be pretty cool. So good luck, Brandon.
Yeah. So 5 years of trying for the 24. So that's one win. There you go. Finally got it.
So now we move on to the real 24.
Stopped in. Thanks for having us there, DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
So.
Thanks, man. Glad to be
here.
Yeah,
let's hop into the real 24.
The real
just ended about 7 hours ago. It was not really the real 24 though, was it?
It was like the 23 hours and 50-some minutes.
58
It was really weird. They called 2 to go, and I swear the clock said like 2 minutes and something left. Like, well, GTP could easily get 2 laps in that time.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're calling 1 to go. So I guess Penske was writing them a check real quick. And it cleared right as soon as they called that 2 to go. That check cleared.
Did they even give a white flag?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, they gave the 2 to go, and then all of a sudden checkered. It was checkered as they were coming to the tri-oval.
I'm gonna laugh when they come out and the flagman just grabbed the wrong flag and just screwed up and waved the checker like, oh shit.
That could be a miscommunication. You never know. I mean, stuff happens. It's whatever. I don't think anything was going to change anyway because they caught so much traffic. Bloomquist got screwed the lap before with all that traffic. Just the nature of it. We've experienced it. We were running our race. Like sometimes you just catch it wrong, and Nasser caught it right, and Bloomquist just caught it wrong and just got stuck. Especially getting stuck behind GT3 cars in the bus stop, that really killed him.
Yeah.
So even if they ran another lap, I don't think anything would have changed.
Speaking of Bloomquist, he's going into his rookie season at IndyCar, and I can't believe how many more IndyCar drivers there were, and they were all like,
there's a lot of them. There's a lot.
Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson, Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, Scott McLaughlin. Like at one time, I looked and they were leading like 3 or 4 of the classes, and then they're second in GTP. Also, it was just like, man, these guys are fast.
Well, you got the Chip Ganassi connection, you got the Roger Penske connection, and I'm sure a bunch of other connection possibilities there too. And them guys are fast. And I feel like I don't know anything about these cars or anything, but I feel like the jump from an Indy car to like a GTP isn't huge. I mean, the car probably weighs more. I think they make less power, actually. I think a GTP makes like 670 or something like that, and IndyCar makes 700 something, doesn't it? So I don't know. It's similar enough, right? So I'm sure an IndyCar guy. Plus, most of them live here in America, so they're just a phone call away. And from what it sounds like, a lot of them are itching to get into a ride. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely a way for them to show their skills beyond IndyCar, and I mean, a couple of them are going to be looking here, within a year or two for a ride. But so the first hour,
chaos,
absolute chaos.
LMP3 went away and was reincarnated into LMP2. Well, because all the dentists that were in LMP3 then all of a sudden jumped up to LMP2 because their class was gone. And that one car, that 33, was so bad. I think there's like 4 or 5 cautions just for him. It was nuts.
Yeah. Me and the girlfriend were watching it before we left for a hockey game. It's like he spun out and just sat there right in the middle of the track, and they, we're under full course caution for it. And then as they're going green, he spins out 3/4 of the way behind the leaders. And it's just like, you were by yourself, man. Like,
yeah, what are you doing?
Get it together. And then just throughout the night, it was the same thing. Just
so
more
funny.
Problems. It's like, maybe you shouldn't be in that car.
My favorite part about that whole thing is the LMP3 class is only made by one manufacturer, Liger. That's who makes all the chassis. And that team, the 33 car, is the only Liger P2 chassis in the world. So it was just really suiting that the guy that ran the Liger chassis in LMP3, which was just the meme that we know it was, stepped up to LMP2 and was running the Liger, and in true Liger spirit, it was just an absolute meme the whole time too. So it was just kind of funny. It was like LMP3's gone, but it's still here in spirit. And I might be saying that wrong. I think on the broadcast they said like Liger or something like that, but I don't know.
Our co-host Joe was in a Lamborghini wrecked it out in the bus stop
Oh yeah,
right off the bat.
dude, that was
And
rough.
then, yeah, I mean, honestly, like just watching the beginning of the race, I was like, man, iRacing is pretty realistic just because you
iRacing
got,
imitating life yet again.
yeah, what was it a GTP or not LMP2 maybe? I don't know. One of them lost it out of the bus stop, and I'm like, yep, that happens.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
LMP2.
yeah,
That
we
was a
saw
hard hit.
cold tires, we saw everything. It was just like, man. But I mean, it
A
was an
lot of
exciting start of the race.
those lockups, like you see guys coming
Yeah,
right out of pits into I guess it's turn 2 or whatever, but into the first hairpin and just locking up and shoot. They didn't have anybody saying on the radio, cold tires, heavy car. You
yeah,
know, maybe if they did, and in case anybody isn't aware, that's our meme. We always say that every time somebody gets in the car, cold tires, heavy
yep.
car. So yeah,
Hey,
I guess
it's worked for us.
if you got caught out in the iRacing 24 because you locked up cold tires, don't feel bad because apparently the pros are doing it too. So
Yeah, and I don't know. Even in our split, we saw a bunch of people doing it, so it's
it's
realistic in some
tricky.
way.
You gotta be real
Yeah,
careful. No tire warmers in IMSA either, so you know it's just adds to it. But it was fairly warm this year, I think. But even still, it's a problem. But
the Lexus team struggled. They got caught up in
they were doing good.
LMP2 wrecking right off the bat, and then
Yep.
the second car, 23 hours into it, they catch on fire. It was the best part is that somebody posted a video of them at night and they had flames shooting out their exhaust, and it said, this car is hot or something like that. And then, you know, hour before the finish, the car's on fire, big fire
Yeah,
too. So I
yeah.
don't know, it was funny.
They were quick at the beginning. It's like to see that pro car get taken out. They definitely had speed.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah. That the first bit of that race, it was pretty wild. It calmed down later, but it was at the start of it. It was something.
So I'm gonna take us into a little bit of different racing here, but I'm gonna start off with I am really impressed with the new track house driver, Connor Zilic,
Yeah.
because this kid, 17 years old, just won a Rolex, and I believe it was the LMP2 car.
Mm-hmm.
17.
Yep.
First attempt, wins it.
First try,
Was fast.
100% win rate at the Rolex 24.
And it's not like he was just out there with a bunch of really fast guys. They gave him more splits because he was quick.
Well, it was a bunch of young guys because I think he was also partnered with like the Indy Next champion or whatever. Basically, he's gonna be a rookie in the Indy Series next year. So you had two young guys in the car. I forget who else was in it, but I just know those two stood out. And I mean, they killed it.
They did. They ran a great race, but Connor also ran the MX5 Cup on Thursday and Friday.
Best form of racing in the entire world.
Oh, dude, if you're not watching the MX5 Cup, what are you doing?
Insanely good. You can take your $30 million F1 cars or whatever they cost and just throw them out and get an MX5. It's so much better.
It is like the racing's insane, and
so good.
I know when they were at Road America they were opener for the Cup cars too. They were so much fun to watch. I mean, it's kind of the same thing where they're drafting each other because Daytona's a big course, Road America's a big course. Yeah. It's great racing and honestly great drivers too.
They're really good. You sort of expect it, like when I watch it, this is the first time I actually watched the whole thing. And you sort of expect it to be like a NASCAR thing where you like watch the truck series and it's just like a bunch of young kids out there wrecking shit and stuff like that. But no, they were actually out there. They're proper drivers, and there's some money in that series. I didn't realize. I forget what they said the championship is worth, but it's like millions.
Really?
I think so.
No shit.
If Brandon's in here, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but I think like the championship is worth like a couple million or something like that. Like there's some decent money in it.
I enjoy the hell out of watching those. I know the second race I was watching at work, kind of, while I'm working, but I think it was like lap 2, somebody got spun out. And then like 3 laps later, they're caught up and running 5th. And it's just like, what the fuck? How? Just they got going, used the draft, and just slingshot around everybody apparently. But
shout out to Cody there for being able to wreck fucking everything he touches. Good job, Cody.
Yeah.
Did you say he was in the LMP3
both those races, right?
He was in those, and then he was in the LMP3 race the other week. He's amazing.
Man, you think Daddy
Give
Ware
Cody
would
more rides.
figure it out? Unless he's using his own money, but I doubt it.
I doubt it. I don't think he has any.
So, we got anything else? 24 hours you want to talk about?
No,
Miata?
just in general. I always love the 24. It's really good time. I love going to sleep with race cars on and waking up with race cars on. It's always a good event. The last lap was kind of weird, but whatever. I don't think the race changes if they run one more lap at all. So it was good. Good race. I love it. Can't wait till next year. But next up, NASCAR.
Hell yeah. So, let's start with the trucks and Xfinity here. We'll start with the lower series trucks
Yeah,
and
we did
Xfinity.
have a bunch of news break. It was weird. It's like the other day there was
out
like
of
media
nowhere.
day.
Yeah.
And it was just so I just spammed our show sheet with a bunch of Twitter links because it was just crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. I didn't really expect anything, but yeah, we got a bunch. So let's start it off. No more non-competitive pit stops for both the truck and the
That is so
Xfinity
good to
series.
see.
Yeah,
I love
100%.
that.
Like, it was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Why they even allowed it? I mean, you can go and just find random people.
Oh, hello?
Yeah.
A dog?
Sorry. No, it's a cat.
Ah.
Hairball time, apparently.
Oh
Like,
boy.
what is going on? But
want to come on the podcast? Special guest?
yeah.
Here's
But
Mitten.
yeah, right. No more non-competitive. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I don't know why they allowed it to begin with.
Well, it's because
Have,
the Xfinity
have your
teams,
truck driver go do it.
the Xfinity teams, they do all sorts of they always do that collaboration thing where they use cup teams and stuff like that. And what I think what a lot of it was is like, when Cup and Xfinity is in two different places, you can't use the same pit crew and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing though. So like, what's the alternative? Are you going to have Cup guys pitting your car while Cup's in town, and then you just have sort of the B team when you
That'd
don't
be my
have
guess.
what do they call them? Companion weekends.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm just glad to see it. Like I hate non-competitive pit stops. It's just absurd.
Yep. I mean, pit stops. I mean, the strategy alone makes a race. It's a big
Right.
part of the race, and then you get rid of that, and it's just
It's bad enough. It's bad enough stages and stuff like that. Screw all that up.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm just glad to see it back.
Another dual series change here is they'll be going to a smaller fuel tank, 9 gallons. This one I have questions about, because are we going to change up, the fuel tank size too? Are they going to have to use 3 tanks to fill it up? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you need the full tank that we have now to make it the stage length?
It'd only be the last stage, if anything.
I don't know. I think what they're doing, and maybe this might be a cost saving measure, and I don't necessarily hate this, but I saw somewhere like now you don't have to get such a big like heavy lifting guy to lift these fuel tanks. So like you can have somebody smaller, maybe they're a little cheaper to have on the team. Whatever. I don't know. It's whatever. And it's sort of an irrelevant change in my eyes, but it'll change the way those stops look, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So, what was I going to say? Backup cars for Xfinity, that's also changing. If you have a 3-car or bigger team, you get 2 backups, and if you're a smaller team of 2 or less, you only get 1 car backup.
Mm-hmm.
Cost savings again, maybe not the right move.
I mean,
I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I guess it's the teams that are asking for this kind of stuff. So whatever, if it bites you, it bites you. You sort of, this is what you get, I guess. I don't know. I'd love to know, like, how these cost savings conversations go. Like, does a team say, hey, NASCAR, can you save us money by doing this? And then they look at it and say, okay, yeah, we can do that. Or is NASCAR like, we're going to save you some money and you're going to do this? Like, how's it? I'd love to know how these conversations happen.
Yeah.
I don't know enough to like comment and say, oh, boo NASCAR or boo teams. Like, who's making these choices? But whatever.
Just be a fly in the wall in the meeting or something like that. See what happens. But
yeah, I mean, this kind of thing, it doesn't bother me. What I hate is the cutting down practice. Like that kind of stuff bothers me because now you're taking away from the fan. You're taking away from us when you do that. Taking away backup cars and whatever. That's that doesn't affect me in any way whatsoever. So hidden cost savings, I'm not against, but taking stuff away from fans irritates me.
Yeah. But I mean, they kind of listen for the practice thing, allow people to go to the Clash. Maybe I don't know. We need a 30-minute or something still before races on weekends. They don't have practice, but
Give them an hour. Like, I don't understand it. Open the track
yeah,
for an hour. If you want to practice, practice. If you don't, don't. I
yeah.
don't
I
see
mean, we
why.
saw what 2 cars last year not make the 500 because
Right,
they had
especially like the
problems.
500. Like, you're coming in, you have no practice. You have guys that are going out there, like, because I mean, the 500 is famous for one-off opportunities. Guys just getting a car and running it. You're asking those guys to go out and practice or qualify in, race in duels, and do all this stuff without any practice whatsoever. Like, it's just silly to me. Like, just open the track for an hour, let them do a shakedown, let them get some
Yep.
practice laps with a couple cars drafting, whatever. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But
They haven't said anything this year yet. Have they released a schedule for Daytona yet?
yeah, there's no practice.
Okay, well, they haven't learned yet.
No,
Hopefully this is the last year for that, and we'll bring
there's no practice before
anything.
qualifying. I
What's
don't know
it
if there's
hurting?
practice. I don't know if there's practice after qualifying, but there's no practice before qualifying.
There should be something 30 minutes, hour right before
Yeah.
it. That way you don't have to get extra people there. Just get it out. I mean, that was one of the things that I loved back in the day going to races was you'd go up on a Thursday night, sometimes even earlier if there was a truck race.
Hmm.
And, Friday you had practice, qualifying, more
Right.
practice. An IROC race was my first weekend on a Friday. And then, it was a 3-day event,
Hmm.
sometimes 4. And
Hmm.
now it's you don't bother showing up early because
It's
we're
just
only going to have a couple hours of things here.
it's just a lingering thing from freaking COVID. Just something that COVID changed and affected the world for the rest of eternity is this idea that we can do like this 1-day show. Like, it's just horse shit. Like, oh, it's so frustrating. And again, because this is something that's taking away from the fan. You're taking value away from the fan, which I just don't agree with.
Yeah. If I'm a fan, I want as much as I can get, which another thing with the 24 hours of Daytona, they had a good sized crowd.
Oh my god, it's
And
record. It wasn't
yeah,
good size. This is the best crowd they had ever.
yep. For $115, you got a 4-day pass and you could literally walk on pit road before the race and mingle with, the drivers or whoever else is out there.
Hmm.
115 bucks. You
Well,
can't, I mean, that's a cup ticket.
name a race series anywhere that doesn't have practice that's available to the fans. Formula One does it. IMSA does it. The other road series, IndyCar, the other road series, the companion series for IMSA, like, they all do it. All the major motorsports organizations in the world do a practice and allow fans in. But NASCAR,
Yep.
they've cut it down so much. I mean, Formula One still has what, 3 practice sections that are how long, an hour each or something like that. Actually, I think they're 90
Yep.
minutes.
And they use them all. Like
Yeah,
they practice.
what is an hour? Give an hour of practice
Yep.
for all the cars to be on the track. I hate this group stuff. I hate group qualifying too. I'm over that.
So speaking of the group qualifying,
Mm.
I'm over it too. I never liked it to begin with, but we're changing how the qualifying format works. We're going to be, Group A, if you're outside the top 5, so you'd be row 6 to 20 or whatever it is, you're going to be lined up on the outside. And then if you're Group B and you're outside the top 5, you're going to be
Is
on
that for
the
everything?
lower
I
side.
thought that was just the clutch. Is that everything?
That's everything.
I don't hate that
I
as much.
I like it because you had multiple times last year where guys would go out, they be 6th, 7th fastest. So they don't make the was it C qualifying or whatever the fuck you call it.
Hmm.
But then the next group comes out and the weather's changing, it's colder and the track's got more grip. And now that guy that was 6th fastest is qualifying 20th, you
Yeah.
know. So now he's gonna be lined up respectfully for where he would be.
Yeah. I like it better. I still, I don't know. Maybe I'm a traditionalist and I'm just
Single
setting.
car qualifying.
Yeah, single car qualifying. Just be done with it. But whatever.
So I'm gonna
This
be
does seem like a more fair way to do it if you're going
I
to do it
remember
first.
before the qualifying that we have now, everybody was asking for group qualifying. So I think
But
we got
NASCAR
what we
fans are
wanted, and we don't like it.
NASCAR fan. Well, what they wanted was multi-car qualifying, and that was a disaster. You remember the Auto Club race where they had the final round, and
Yeah.
because of the stupid draft package, nobody wanted to go out, so nobody made a qualifying lap.
Yep.
It was so funny. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think NASCAR's opened this door where they're willing to modify and change the product to suit the fans, and I just think doing that from day one was a mistake. I know people are saying they wanted this, they wanted that, but the second you start manipulating stuff, you're just getting yourself into trouble. Like, I mean, how many times has Formula One changed their format? How many times has IndyCar changed their format? Just
Yeah.
like it. Now you open this door. Like, now you have, like, just want to talk about the championship real quick. Now you have basically three different championship formats that you've gone through, and you'll have people that'll argue the legitimacy of each one. so like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It was just from day one, chasing this stuff was just an absolute mistake in my mind. Changing anything about it. Like, I don't think you change your product. Maybe you change the way you advertise, you market your product, or you do this, how you interact with fans. You find different ways to change that, but the core of your product, I don't think you mess with. And now we have. So I don't know.
Yeah. So Brandon said not just pit road pre-race, but garage access during the race also,
Yeah.
which awesome. But I did watch. I don't remember what car it was pulled in because they had a mechanical problem, and you just had people walking down the middle of the lane
Yeah.
in the garages and not moving.
hmm
And there's just like these three kids, and it's like the car got so close to hitting him. And I honestly, at that point, I was like, hit him,
Yeah.
just hit him. It's like, how are you? They're just looking down
We
their
don't
phones,
advocate for
walking.
running over children on the Green White Checker podcast, for the record.
I do.
Andrew does. The
Pay
rest of us
attention.
feel differently.
Yeah. Pay attention if you're in the garages, people, or otherwise you're going to ruin it for everybody when you get hit. Okay. So, yeah, qualifying changes. Legacy, Motor Club. I always have to remind myself Motor Club because it's awful. Signs Trevor Bayne, Corey Heim to competition roles for 2024. Interesting move. Legacy's doing this
I don't know
thing
what
where
that
it's like
means. What does
all
that mean,
drivers.
competition rules?
So Corey Heim is going to be like a backup and tester.
Okay.
I want to say Trevor Bayne is going to be, I'm guessing, like simulator setup, in charge of like what the drivers want, concerns. I mean, obviously Trevor knows how to drive a car. So if they're having problems, maybe addresses that somehow. I don't know. But Legacy's just doing this like all driver thing. So you got obviously Jimmy running it. You got Matt Kenseth, like the competition director or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got Trevor and Corey also coming on.
Drivers.
Which,
I'm totally spacing on their drivers. Eric Jones and
Eric Jones and John Hunter.
That's right.
So
maybe they're thinking about going to a 3-car.
It wouldn't surprise me, but with the charter system, how?
I don't see, if SHR has a year like they did this year, if they have it again next year, I don't see them having 4 charters for very long. I just don't see how you can do it. They're so bad. So I don't know. Maybe there's going to be
one. Does SHR?
What?
Do they have 4?
Yeah, they got. Who got?
Okay,
Greg
yeah,
Smith,
they do.
Barry, Briscoe, and Priest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe a couple years because they did just sign those 2 guys. So I don't know how long those guys. Well, then I don't know how long Priest and Briscoe have left. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Man.
But
I mean, I know Denny wants another one.
Well,
there's also
3 cars. I really do.
Do what?
I think we need to go back to 43 cars.
Oh, 100%. I mean, why not?
The interest is there, right? Like, and I was like, one of the big things about this car was the whole ability to be able to just buy in, right? Like, you can just buy the car, and the Green White Checker podcast, we come across a bunch of money. We go out and buy a car. We have the same car as Hendrick, as JGR, as Penske. Our motor's different, but we have the same body. We don't have to hire a bunch of fabricators and all that stuff. Like, that was the whole point of this, was get rid of that startup cost and let everybody come in at a much closer level to the big guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not embrace that? and you have a lot of interest. You have a lot of people looking at the sport. So, release a couple more charters. Now, I don't know how you do that and not screw up the market value and all that stuff, but whatever you got to do, find a way. I say have 40 charters and have 43 starters.
So you're gonna add a couple more what the fuck are they called? Charters. And so what if NASCAR sells them at whatever the last price for a charter was, and then we take that money and we give it out to the teams as prizes, like purses for races. We make the the all-star race worth more than $1 million. Like, we have dirt track races that are $1 million. This all-star race needs to be, I don't know, 3-5 million, something like that in my mind. But I don't know. I mean, you got to do something, right? You can't just be like, here's a couple charters that are free. Who wants them?
No, you got to sell them. You can't bring them in for free. What you could do, what might be kind of interesting, is if say NASCAR just comes up with a couple charters, maybe if you're buying in as a brand new owner, say Dale Earnhardt Senior, Junior, you get a discount.
I don't think Senior's buying anything.
No, I don't think he's buying anything. But like, you get a discount. Like, you don't have to buy it at the same purchase price as if Denny Hamlin wanted to get a third charter. So then you help maybe encourage a new owner to step in.
Yeah.
And what you do with the money, I don't know.
What if we had like a battle royale and just like give them all paintball guns and say go at it, whoever wants it the most wins it.
There you go. A demolition derby.
Yeah. Ooh.
A real class. Now we're talking a class format. So
I'd be down for that.
I don't know. I just think it's time to really look at getting more cars in the field, because I definitely think it seems like the desire is there from teams to field more cars.
Yeah. 100%. So here's the change that I think nobody will care about, but I freaking love, that's coming to the Cup Series. I'm not sure if it's the other series too, but I know it's the Cup. We have light up pit wall banners.
That's gonna look cool. You know what sucks though?
Dude.
How many night races do we have a year now? Like, none.
Really? I
hardly
have to look at the schedule. Yeah.
I'll go through the schedule and see if I can count them real quick. But we hardly have any.
I mean, you have the All-Star race, the Coke 600. Was it Nashville?
So I guess the Coliseum will be a night race. You have the duels that are night races, if you want to count those. I mean, how quick are teams going to be able to have this stuff together?
Oh, I mean, Trackhouse has probably already had them like waiting. Didn't even know about it, but
there's sort of, we call them two events because you only race in one duel. So there's two events. You keep talking amongst yourself.
Well, I don't know. But I don't know. I love the idea. I mean, I'm hoping teams actually utilize it and we don't just do some like small little logo and a bunch of lights, kind of like some of the cars have, with the rear quarter panel, but do some cool stuff. So how many we got?
So far, I counted one. Richmond in March.
Really?
Yep. The rest of them at 3 p.m. Here's another one. The All-Star race. I guess you have the Coke 600. So All-Star race, Coke 600. Those two more.
Nashville's.
Iowa. Iowa's gonna be a night race.
Yep.
7 p.m.
on Sunday night.
So what's that? Is that 4? 4 we're counting now. I don't know. We'll have a handful, I guess. More. I think more than last year. I don't think we hardly had any last year. But even still, there's not a lot.
Races.
There's no, like, both the Richmond races are night races this year. Interesting.
Good.
And on Sunday. Huh.
Yeah, they're doing that a lot this year, I noticed.
I don't love that.
Yeah, so that's 3 Sunday night races. Give me a Saturday. Let me have my Sunday.
I mean, really, you got 4 Sunday night races because you got Labor Day weekend too. But I mean, you got Labor Day and Memorial Day with the Southern 500 and the Coke 600. That's a Saturday night in my mind. That doesn't matter because you got a holiday next day. But
Iowa, though, I mean, that's Father's Day.
I mean, it looks like you probably got a good 6 or 7, maybe 8 night races. So whatever. I don't know. It'll be cool to see. I think you're right. I think it'll look really, really futuristic, really new school. Like, if NASCAR wants to like do new school type stuff, like that's a good move.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want it to look awesome. I really do. Like, underglow on the car didn't work out. I thought that work out.
I thought underglow into the car was a great idea before they executed. I've said it before.
It was poor, very poorly executed.
Let the teams match the colors to their car, to their paint schemes. then you could really make something pop. But you just have like these random colors put under cars. This looked terrible, and it was only under the back.
Yeah.
Like, especially now with those big grills they have on. Could you imagine like a nice LED like behind
Ooh,
that grill,
yeah.
illuminating out the front and stuff like that? Like, you could do some cool
That'd look
stuff.
legit. Yeah. Ooh, speaking of lights, your electric car that you kept talking about in our
Yeah,
show sheet, it's got lights. We're gonna
it's
see
got
it at the
light.
Clash.
I don't know if that's
Ran
the battery
3.
life, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not racing; they're just showing it off. They did a 340 laps at Martinsville with David Reagan,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a closed session. Nobody saw it apparently, but the Clash, we're gonna see it.
It's gonna be
Qualifying
running
night.
around.
I just thought about that qualifying night. So they were gonna say no fans, but they were gonna show off this electric car.
I mean, I guess this electric car is sort of a dead end anyway. Like, they're not planning on racing it. I don't think. I don't know. I saw something that said
This
they're more interested in looking at hydrogen technology than they are this car, which I think is where you can lean on Toyota and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of Japanese manufacturers are chasing hydrogen more so than electric.
Yep.
I forget. I saw this whole thing on it, but it was like something about like their economy or like their just the way they're set up that a hydrogen powertrain makes more sense to them than like EVs do. So I think Toyota has been investing a lot specifically. Plus, they have some weird hydrogen setup where it actually makes noise like an internal combustion engine. Like, it's weird. I saw it was like a Corolla or something like that they had it fitted to, and it took off and it made a good little noise.
Interesting.
So yeah,
I mean,
I think they're more interested in that than this. I don't know how an electric car lasts for a NASCAR event because it's a
you'd
lot of.
have to have regenerative. I can't talk. Regenerative braking, kind of like a hybrid does.
But even then, that wouldn't buy you that much because
It'd only be like
it's a
short
lot of.
tracks.
Well, that's even worse then because it's a lot of like get up and go. So like I would think not sustain speed would be worse. I don't know. I don't know how electric works because then
That might be interesting though, because they'd just be roasting the tires out of the turns and then hard brakes to get the heat in it to where it gets some juice and then
yeah.
roast them out of the turns again. I don't know.
I mean, you
I'm
can make
I'm
a shitload of torque with an electric car. So I mean,
oh yeah.
I don't
I'm
know.
not anti-electric car. I'm excited to see what it looks like and what it does, but I'm not excited if they try to make it a racing
I
series.
would never watch it. Not in a million years. Sorry.
I'd watch it.
Nope.
I'm a degen like that, but I wouldn't like it.
Nope. I'm not watching it. I would watch the first event just to check it out. Then after that, I'm out. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I did with Formula E. I watched maybe a little bit of a race or something. I was just like, yeah.
I enjoyed some of the Formula E racing, but I didn't go out of my way to watch it. And then they started making all these changes
They got
where
all
like
kinds of
they
goofy
had
stuff going on
boost
in
or
there.
whatever.
Yeah, all
I'll
weird stuff.
pass.
No thanks.
Yeah, it's not a video game. But yeah, David Reagan will be doing more laps in that car. I think they said it's before qualifying. So we'll see how much the broadcast talks about it. I've
Being
seen,
Fox, probably none. They'll probably forget about it.
yeah, I know Twitter and that's already up in arms and against it, but that's just what NASCAR fans do. So, what else we got? Daytona, they're going to pave the other half of the backstretch basically going into turn 3.
Lame.
I mean, I don't think it changes anything,
It changes
honestly.
a lot. It changes the looks of it. It'll look
Changes the
terrible.
looks, yeah.
I guess I get. I don't know. Like, would AstroTurf be any more like with that? Like what they did with
Atlanta.
Charlotte. What about Atlanta?
So Atlanta did it, and it ended up destroying like everybody's car when they went in the grass or
I
the
don't think
AstroTurf.
I don't think Atlanta has AstroTurf. Atlanta has grass. The
It was
only one that has
Atlanta. I remember Josh Berry hit it and like
yeah, that was
destroyed
grass.
his car. That
That
wasn't
was,
grass.
that was grass. That was 100% grass.
Isn't
Yeah.
Charlotte
The
just
only track
like
that has
painted
turf is
asphalt?
Charlotte. No, it's turf.
Is it?
Yes, Charlotte is the only one with AstroTurf. Atlanta still has grass, and it
I
was
still
grass.
don't.
I can picture Barry hitting it, and I remember seeing the dirt.
Yeah.
It's grass because they slid across Charlotte and they don't dig into it at all.
But here's the thing: is I mean, you get a car high flying like a Daytona and blowover. Are they going to still land and grip that grass?
I mean, I don't know if you have blowover.
At
I don't know.
Daytona.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't know the answer to those questions.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's softer than concrete. It's softer than asphalt. So there's that. But
Yeah, but I mean,
I think when you watch that Priest flip from Daytona, what really was the issue was the car, got into that vulnerable position, and then there was that drop off from the grass, from the asphalt to the grass. With
yeah,
turf,
and the
you can
bus
have
stop.
that much more flush, so you don't have that drop, because that's where like air was able to really get underneath the car and lift it up. So it was like a little ramp almost.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I would have liked to see them at least, and maybe they did consider turf, and like that's not going to work. But yeah, it's just
they
going to
wouldn't
be
have to
ugly.
maintain it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't have to maintain turf. It's just going to be
I mean,
ugly. Which
I mean, they already added a bunch of asphalt, so
yeah,
it's. I don't disagree, especially in like the camera shot. You're going to see the grass because they like to show that from the infield looking at the turns because they're sideways compared to the camera shot.
hmm
You're going to see it, but I don't know. I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
it's going to be an aesthetic thing, which I get. That does matter. Like you want your track to look beautiful. Like you want like tracks that just have grass are just more visually appealing. So I don't know, and it does hurt for the 24 because the 24 you actually do use that bit and you do see the grass. So just aesthetically, I'm disappointed. Same thing for like at Martinsville, right, where they replaced that little strip with concrete, and
Oh
they
yeah,
like. I just thought Martinsville looked better with the grass. Now I get why they wanted to get the grass out of there because of the trouble it caused, but still, just from a
it
look
looks so
standpoint,
much different too.
it does. It
Like
just it
you
it
look
doesn't
at
look.
you see old Martinsville versus now, and you're just like, oh, what track is that? And it's Martinsville. It's like, wait, what?
It's just prettier. Like, and I mean, maybe that means nothing, but it to me it matters a little bit. It's whatever, they're gonna do what they have to do, and
Yeah.
hopefully it's more safe, I guess. But it's still disappointing.
Yep. I don't disagree. Um, Man, on top of that, am I missing anything? Can you think of? I mean, obviously we're going to the Clash this weekend.
Ah,
Saturday qualifying. We get to see the
um,
new Ford and Toyota.
yeah, I was looking. iRacing just updated their models for the new Ford and Toyota, and that Ford, man, I was looking
I like it.
at that fender, man. That thing is just gonna hook up on the 1.5s. I feel
Uh huh.
like the way that fender's shaped and it's sculpted in such a way, like you can just see the path for the air to flow over that right front and push it down into the ground. So we'll see. I think that thing's going to be a menace. It's so funny to me how Ford and Toyota seem to completely flip philosophies. Like last year,
Yeah.
well, for the last few years, Ford really had like the slicked out body, really streamlined and smooth for super speedways, and now it's Toyota that has it. I will say I don't hate the Toyota as much as I initially did either. I'm seeing paint schemes on it. They put that bar across the front bumper that connects the headlights. That makes it look better. I think it's going to be paint scheme dependent. I think you're going to need a good paint scheme to help it out, but I don't hate it as much as I did. Like I think Christopher Bell, he has a new ream scheme that I really like. It's inverted. It's white where it was red and all that, but
Yeah, I saw the scheme for the 43 and still don't like it. I still think it's ugly.
I don't know if I
I
see it now.
just
I see it. Are you talking about the
it's
test one? There was a test one for Eric Jones where it didn't look good at all.
it probably
I
so
think it
there
was
was a
Ad
test
Van.
one and then there was another one that they showed that was like updated with I think the bar that you're talking about. It's I don't know. It's like they got the designer of Cybertruck to come over and design the Toyota or
It's
something
like
like that.
here. I want to put this in our Discord chat. Can I put picture messages
You
in
can
this
do it
chat?
in here.
Can I
If
really?
not, I can. I know I
Where,
can.
where do I
So,
do it? We're learning. This is a learning experience.
if you go to brand, can you see brand on the right hand side?
Right hand side. No.
No. Okay, then you can't. I can. We'll figure this out and get everybody to be able to do this eventually.
I'm in the show. I see that.
I don't know. Post
Okay.
in Discord. I'll throw it up.
All right. Yeah. So here. All right. Give us a second. Again, we're learning. This is new. So the first one I'm posting, that's the original one. That is ugly as shit. And then here's one. Oops. With the bumper, or I don't know, grill connecting thing. What are you gonna call it?
Ooh, maybe I won't be able to do this.
Uh oh.
I don't know how to do this. I
can present. What does that do? Slides?
It shows your screen. Yeah.
You have
I
no
don't know.
slides. We're a podcast, everyone.
Yeah. We're learning. This is new for us here. I might have figured it out.
Did you?
Hold on. Yeah, except I
Oh,
messed up.
look, there's a timer too. So now we can have Joe. We don't need Joe to
Oh, man.
text us every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, maybe I didn't.
Hold on.
Like,
Hold on.
what was the name of that file? I am
don't know.
struggling over here.
Hold on. I have an idea. I want to try this slides thing. This is gripping stuff for everybody, but
The slides thing didn't work for me because it's not showing the pictures.
Yeah, I have an idea. Okay, save that. Save images.
It's trial run, everybody.
Trial run.
As we go.
Making it up as we go.
I know I can add it as a background, but I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Oh, I can't show it because it's a PNG. It's got to be a JPEG.
It's got to be a JPEG?
Yeah, here.
From my computer.
Oh, I know what I can do here. I can open it here.
What happens if I do this? Invalid file type. Oh, look at that. Whoa, we had something.
Was that me? That was probably me. Hold on. I can do it again.
What was that me? I did something at the same time you did it. Hold on.
I can show Discord, but I don't want to.
But it told me it was invalid file type.
Yeah, it's a PNG, so it can't.
No, I was doing a JPEG. All right, whatever.
Here.
You did something.
There we go. So that's the old one, correct?
Yep, that is the old one.
Okay. So we take the old one and give me 2 seconds here.
Can you just hit the arrow
and
button?
We change to this. I cannot. At least
Yeah,
I don't think.
It's still not great. I'm seeing it.
Well,
Are you seeing it? What are you doing?
Yeah, I just switched to the Willie B video on accident. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that bar, honestly, connecting it makes it kind of look good. So it's better. I still don't like the pointiness.
Well, that's why I think they 100% did that for super speedway racing. That's gonna big flat.
Oh. Why is it? Yeah, I don't know why it won't just show me the other
what you got
picture,
on your computer.
I know, right? But
I think that's 100% for bump drafting. Look at that big old flat nose.
Oh yeah, I mean, this thing's gonna really.
Now Toyota actually has drafting numbers. Like that's always been their struggle, having numbers for a draft. And now you got 4 JGR cars, 2 2311 cars, 2 Legacy. You got 8 cars now.
Look at that rear fender, man. They all stick out.
You have 9 cars. Yes, I think they do. You have 9 cars now because you got Jimmy Johnson, who's going to run part-time, and I think he's doing like the plate tracks.
Oh yeah. Really?
I think
Jimmy
so.
hated plate tracks, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I know he's going to run a couple of races. Yeah, he's going to again.
So you may or may not have Jimmy at some of them. So I don't know. Maybe you'll have like a Travis Pastrana show up for some race or something like that, like they did last year.
I think he said he will not. I think he's done.
Well, I'm just using him as an example. Like,
oh yeah.
The 2311, they had that 67 car that they filled out a couple of times. So who knows? 8 cars, maybe 9 at some places.
Jensen Button will not be running Chicago this year.
Oh.
I did see that, which it is what it is. I also saw Chicago is having problems again. Go figure. Apparently NASCAR is offering like $3 more million to the city to run it.
Out, dude. If they don't want you there, don't run there. Go to the Oval. Your 1.5 track package is so good right now. It's the only good racing package you have. Just go to 1.5 everywhere. Open up Chicagoland and say hell with the city. Do the city thing somewhere else.
100%. But that's what it is. I don't know. The whole thing is weird to me. Maybe they take the extra couple million and they dump it into Chicagoland.
I think right there, do that. Perfect idea. Instead of giving Chicago your money, invest it in your own facility. and bring Chicagoland back up to where it needs to be, or do something great there that fans would enjoy, or something, improve the fan experience, whatever.
So that reminds me, some aerial pictures of Auto Club
It
have
is
come up.
destroyed.
It's destroyed, but the front stretch and pit road are not, which they were talking. They wanted to use it as a track.
Mm-hmm.
So is it happening? Like,
I heard it might be. It sounds like things are a little more optimistic. They just don't really know when. It sounds like that project is still on track. It's just a matter of when they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see what they do there. I mean, especially with short track package being so god awful right now, I wouldn't really be rushing it either. So,
yeah,
no need to hurry up and get another. I can't believe I'm saying it. Hurry up and get another short track on the schedule with this current package we have. So.
Do some more aero changes, try to make it.
Yeah,
work.
that'll definitely help.
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up because I have nothing else to talk about on this special Sunday night episode. Yeah, the Clash this weekend, Super Bowl, and then Daytona 500.
Super Bowl, I think after the Clash for me is the worst part of the offseason. Because I
was gonna ask before you get into this.
Sure.
A couple weeks ago, we had our first 2024 episode, and I asked everybody, "Are you?" I don't remember
much of.
Yeah, you're a little. But I asked everybody, "Do you miss racing?" And your answer was no.
You asked if I miss NASCAR. I believe that was my point. I didn't miss NASCAR yet.
Okay, how about now?
Do I miss racing? No, I said I still maintain my same thing. Is I don't find myself missing NASCAR because I've really in recent years diversified my fandom. So like I said, Thanksgiving and Christmas, the holiday season, you're busy with all that stuff, and then we come back, and then boom, Chili Bowl, and then boom, the iRacing 24, and then the Real 24, and now we have the Clash coming up. So it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's me getting more diversified in my racing stuff. Maybe it's me just sort of gravitating away from my NASCAR fandom a little bit. I don't know. But no, the worst weekend for me is actually Super Bowl weekend, just because we have the Clash first. So it's like, have all that stuff going on in January. We have the Clash. I'm back into it. I'm back into a racing mindset, and then gotta wait a week.
Yeah.
Because I think this will be the first weekend I haven't watched racing since before Christmas. Because let's see, you had the Tulsa Shootout, and then I got a Flow Racing subscription, and I watched they had some sort of thing at the Talladega Dirt Track, the Ice Bowl or whatever, and then you had Chili Bowl, and then R24, the Real 20. So yeah, every weekend since the weekend after Christmas, I've been watching racing of some kind. So yeah. I mean, my racing appetite is full, and I'm sure again Flow Racing will come back in clutch for me Super Bowl weekend, and I'll find something on there to watch. So no, I don't miss NASCAR. I'm not saying, and again, that's not saying I'm not excited for NASCAR. Two different things.
Yeah, I'm excited. It hit me this weekend. It's like, we're there. We're so close.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see racing this weekend.
And I'm also sort of, I don't know, tapering my expectations because I'm just ready to get fucking annoyed by Fox. I'm just it happens to me all the time. I get so excited for NASCAR to come back, and then Fox 10 minutes into the broadcast, I'm like, holy shit, here we are again.
I hope the CW comes in and just
they're next
Fox.
Year, right?
It's next year, 2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope they just have the greatest fucking broadcast ever. And Fox just either is like, oh, you know what? Maybe we actually have to do something, or they bow out.
I mean, you got NBC who does a great job, and Fox does nothing. So I don't see that changing. I really hope what NASCAR should do is have somebody else buy out the Truck Series, or at least since CW is taking Xfinity all year, see if you can have NBC pick up the truck races when they pick up the Cup races, since they don't have Xfinity now. Just because, I mean, truck racing is rough to watch to begin with, and then you just have the D tier of Fox covering it. It's just so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad last year for the championship race.
They're
come
not
on.
even there. How are you not there for the championship event?
But
Imagine if
that's
they did
another thing.
a remote broadcast of the Super Bowl. Let's do that. You never did. Now, granted, Truck Series isn't on the same scale as the Super Bowl. I get that, but still, it's the championship event of the sport that you're covering, that you have a contract to cover. Like, why would you not be there?
I don't
It's
know.
so stupid.
That's the other thing that we get to see this weekend is the new remote broadcast area. Apparently,
Apparently,
yay!
they're going to be doing remote officiating to some degree, which
I
is just going to be great.
I don't know how I feel about that,
I
but
think if I understand it right, I think what it'll be is for like reviews and stuff like that. Some stuff they could do remote, like a lot of like your pit violations and stuff like that. I think they can because they do that already in a truck. They do that with like that eagle eye system or whatever they have
yeah,
with all the cameras. So like you do that in a truck, so you don't need to bring officials out to the track for that. I get that. I mean NASCAR doesn't really have much officiating on track anyway. It's not like a slight against NASCAR. I'm just saying like we don't penalize for like rough driving and that kind of thing. So I don't know. It'll be all right.
yeah. We'll see. I mean, maybe it's just for I don't know. The officiating could be interesting. Pit road stuff. Like, do they really need people there watching it?
I don't know. I think some degree you don't, some you do. But one thing I did just think of, we were talking about Fox. One little bright side that we might have is I watched they had like the race hub thing. I forget when it was.
Yeah.
January 1st it might have been, or second, some early in the year, where they're like previewing the year. And I did not see one cartoon character during the whole broadcast. I might have missed it, but when I was watching, I didn't see any cartoon characters. So those might be gone. I don't want to
Was
get too
it?
excited, but they might be.
That was NBC that messed up and had F1 champion JJ Yaley,
I'm
right?
pretty sure it was Fox. I'm pretty sure it was Fox at
Was
Dover.
that Fox?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was after Chicago. Like they messed up and still had the graphic for the 15 of Button.
No, I think I now have to look at the schedule to see what week was before Dover because it might have
I
been
don't
after because
remember.
Button ran Coda, right?
Oh, was it Coda he ran too? Yes, you're right. He
Let's
probably
see.
ran Coda. It was Fox, according to Brandon. So
Yeah, I think all your major blunders are 100% Fox.
yeah. So the other thing we're talking about broadcast stuff like that. This Tuesday, we get the Netflix documentary. I am excited.
Oh, that looks so good.
Make sure you watch it. Look for this beautiful face. Hopefully, I squirmed my way into a couple shots here or there. But yeah, I mean, we were at Kansas. Drake and Joe were at Darlington. So who knows? Maybe
Yep.
we'll make it in there. It'd be
Maybe
awesome.
we'll see one of the
I'm
boys.
excited for it.
Yeah, it
I
got
had
real high praise from Dale Jr. He said it's the best like of this sort of film type thing that he's ever seen around NASCAR. So
there was another
something like
driver
that.
that
Not direct
they
quote.
said they watched it and it was amazing. Was it Harvick? I don't know. Somebody watched it, but
Dale
I don't know. High
Jr.
praise. I'm
high.
excited.
I think Dale Jr. is high praise just because of how much everybody knows how much care he has for the sport. So
Mm-hmm.
hearing him say something like that gets you kind of excited. So
yep.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Can't wait for
Okay.
that.
Anything else?
No, man. Just great 24, ready to roll into the weekend.
Okay. Sorry, I cut you out apparently when I hit that.
Oh, yeah, you did.
It cuts out audio. I figured you could play music there, but no, you can't.
You cannot. We're learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Mexico series would be really cool to check out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the best racing you see all weekend.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. What do they run? They run like little four bangers or something like that. They don't run big
Yeah.
V8s.
Are they going to actually show it? Because they were at Phoenix.
I sure as
and I
hell
didn't
hope
see
so.
anything. They're at Phoenix for the championship race. They didn't show
I mean,
anything.
they sort of advertised it. Like I don't remember them advertising it for Phoenix. Like they sort of
That's true.
advertised it as like a what do you call it? Companion series or companion event. I can't think of what the hell they call it, but I would hope. But I don't know. It is Fox, so who knows? I think it's supposed to run Saturday. before the
Okay.
heat races or after the heat races. I don't remember.
Maybe in between. Oh,
I don't know. Keep your eye out for it because I'm sure it's gonna be great. Them guys are gonna get after it.
cool. Okay. Well, that is it for our special Sunday night episode. And
Yep.
new
Thanks for hanging
to
us.
this new layout,
Shout
let
out
us know what you
to
think.
for frequency's sake for our first
Yeah.
podcast with them.
Yep. And
Thanks
more
for
to
having
come.
us.
So be good.
Cool.
See you guys. Are we doing next week after Clash? I feel like we should.
I'm down. I can do it.
All right.
I don't care.
We'll be back next week. We might try doing some other stuff too with this. So peace.
Later. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod for the podcast, at Biggles TV for Zach, at ShakenDrake_TTV for Austin, at Picks by Fitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.